Morning, Tuesday the 4th of June, so week commencing 3rd of June vlog. How are we getting on? Training's not going too bad, but yeah, it's interesting. You want to get better so much quicker than you physically can at this age. And I think that's the thing that's kind of catching up. It's just how much effort can I put into my body and cope with. So it's all about managing that effort and recovery at the moment. Anyway, let's talk about Monday. So yesterday, building on last week's effectively VO2 aerobic capacity efforts. So I did 4 by 1200 meters with 4-minute walking recoveries. And my legs were tired because I'd done sprints on Saturday afternoon. I'd done kettlebell Sunday, which was a surprise. But once the track meet on Monday night got cancelled, it means I could try and get my training plan back to normal for the week. So I did kettlebell Sunday. So Monday morning I was feeling it because I hadn't done them for a week. I know that I've got to do them twice a week. All the DOMs just get me, and they got me, and they still get me today. Anyway, weather was good, got out. It felt tough, but I just knuckled down and pushed on through, and did all 4 averaging 20-minute 5k pace. So I was pleased with that overall in terms of the pace, but it was a hard workout. So yesterday, rest of the day, I had holiday yesterday afternoon, so I managed to get a nap yesterday afternoon. So that brings us on to Tuesday morning, today and the rest of the week. So the plan today is to get to track for about 5 and to do a similar session to last Tuesday in terms of anaerobic, lactic capacity. So fairly long sprints. So I'm planning tonight to do 4 by 200 compared to last week's 5 by 150, and there'll be 6-minute walk recoveries on the back of those. So we're just extending out that effort. Now last week went really well. I had a really strong session, so we'll see how we feel tonight with the state the legs are today. Still carrying a little bit of fatigue. So that'll do me for today. Tomorrow I'm torn. I may have a rest day, I may do a gentle jog at work. We'll see how I sleep and how I feel. I'm going to talk a bit about recovery and this whole thing a little bit later. That then leads us on to Thursday, and we're back at the dreaded 400 repeats. At the moment I'm leaning towards just doing 6 by 400 again, similar to last week. Maybe do 7, but I will do those in the morning on the road locally rather than at track, because I want to get a kettlebell session in on the same day. So I'll do that around lunchtime, and then I'll go to track and do camera work for the 5 o'clock club later on. Leaves me to Friday, possibly an easy run, depending on how I sleep and how my legs feel. And then Saturday we've got speed work. So last week I did those 30-meter dashes, which was a bit of a mash-up because I had to get away from the track early. But this week I'm strongly hoping to have plenty more time and to do 10 by 40 meter using the blocks for all 10, because I've got to get used to using the blocks and those short, fast, powerful start efforts. And then Sunday I'll be back to just a kettlebell session and kind of rest and recovery for most of the day. So that's what the week looks like. Now I've decided to train for 400 meters as a vet. I need a plan, and long-term plan, let's articulate it and put it down here so we got nowhere to hide. My long-term plan is 5 years. So up to V65 at the moment. And my goal will be ultimately to be able to run well at British Masters and be competitive. I don't think that's going to happen quickly. We'll see in the next few weeks how my 400 times come down this season from the 66 I did on my first run. But ultimately, if I want to be competitive, I've got to be around the 59 to 60 second mark all the way through my early 60s if I've got any hope of being competitive. I can still race and have a great time, but if I want to be competitive, I've got to get it down to that. So it's a 5-year plan. I cannot rush this trying to get the speed without having the base work there, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about next. But short term plan is to be able to train solidly this year, hopefully start to get my time down, move into early next year, January, February, and do my first indoor races. Then hopefully next summer go to British Masters, which will probably be July, August time, just to experience it. If my times come down even better, then great, but at the moment it's just about the experience. So there'll be two lots of training blocks over that time, and then we will take stock during next year about the next 3 years plan. So I'm about 3 weeks in, 4, 5 maybe, just transitioning over to more speed work away from endurance running. And I've got a good strong base. I've been running consistently for years now, sub 25k, those kind of things. So strong endurance, not top of the pile, but top 5%. So thinking I could move across to speed work easily has been enlightening and informative at the same time. And I think what it's made me realise is, whilst I may have a good base aerobic fitness, I cannot rush this training plan for the 400 metres. It just doesn't work that way. And my body is having, let's just take my body as a whole, is having to adapt to the different training stresses that it puts upon it. Clearly doing a lot less mileage, but the intensity is definitely up, obviously. So that is affecting my muscular system in terms of I can just feel it. I mean, I'm taking my hips and all that kind of stuff, not in a bad way, but it's having to adapt. And muscle change takes weeks, muscle and ligament change takes weeks. And my nervous system gets frazzled by doing speed work. My heart rate variability numbers drop overnight following a hard speed session and take a couple of days, if not longer, to come back up to normal. And if anything, I think that side of things takes longer to adapt than the muscular side. So I've got to stick to the plan. I've got a plan. I've got a good plan. The guy who wrote it is an experienced world masters 400 metre runner. Where's the dog? Here he is. Look at him, fucking leaving, rolling and shit. And his articles and his training plan, very balanced. If you read it, and I'll put the links down below, very balanced. But you've got to follow it. You've got to go through it step by step, phase by phase, and you've got to build that speed and that pace and that, you know, that ability. I mean, some people might adapt quicker, but I'm 59, I'm nearly 60, and I've got to stick to the plan. You cannot rush getting these things, and there is no rush. This year I'm 59. I mean, the last year of the V55s, I'm not going to be competitive at a top level, so I just need to get back into the routine of training like a 400 metre runner, getting used to it, and then starting to plan longer term rather than thinking, can I bang one of these 60-second 400 metres out in 2024? I think every runner who considers himself a serious runner, not necessarily competitive but serious, hates the idea of taking days off. They think they're going to lose fitness on those days off. I'm just the same. It messes with my head. But depending on the intensity of the workout you do and the length and all that kind of stuff, and your age, 1 or 2 rest days, 100% rest days a week are absolutely necessary. But how do you manage that balance? The way I've managed it, I mean, I do 2 strength and conditioning sessions a week. I do 4 quality track sessions a week and maybe a couple of easy runs. So you add that up, I've run out of days already. So strength and conditioning, I always try and tie that in on the same day that I do a quality session after the quality session. So you're basically giving yourself, so for example, I might do effort sessions on Thursday morning, and Thursday lunchtime I'll do a kettlebell session. Keep them on the same day, take Friday off. That then gives me a full kind of 48-hour recovery before I do my next session day. I strongly believe, I could be completely wrong, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, I strongly believe that your body can recover better if you kind of do those 2 blocks in one day and then have a further day off. So that's something to consider. But it's about how you manage that workload and balance during the week to give yourself the recovery time rather than get the sessions in. If you think like that, then you'll be halfway there. Tuesday track, and it's raining. Woohoo! Okay, long ramble earlier, so keep this very short, punchy. Similar session to last week, but 4x200 today with 6-minute walk-in recoveries. So gonna get warmed up, keep moving. As it's pouring with rain, I will catch up with you at the end. Okay, all done. Harder this week than last week. Interesting. Second week in a row. Really feeling the fatigue. But 4x200, average just over 28 seconds, so very pleased. Home for dinner. Ciao for now. Quick recap. So yesterday, Wednesday, after Tuesday's 4x200, I took Wednesday off. Had a complete rest day, whole day. And I'm glad I did, because I was feeling a bit battered Wednesday morning, so took the whole day off as a rest. That then brought us on to today. Actually, earlier in the week I said I was going to do the 6x400 again, same session as last week, but the plan had for me building from 6x400 to 6x500. So that's what I did. Ran out of town, 6x500, average 320 per kilometre pace, so 120s for the 400, so around 140. It was hard, 3-minute recoveries, but got it done. And then lunchtime today, as I mentioned earlier in the week, kettlebell strength and conditioning session. So feeling a bit fatigued. I'm at the track now to do my camera work for the 5 o'clock club, one of their little videos, and then tomorrow possibly a gentle run. See how we feel in the morning. Hopefully I'm going to sleep really well. I suspect I'm going to sleep like a log, the way my legs feel at the moment. So yeah, nice gentle run at Canary Wharf tomorrow, and then I'll check in when I get back to track on Saturday. See you until then. Bye. Happy Saturday, folks. At track, as expected. Right, today's session, similar to last week. So last week's I was run out of time, didn't I? But I'm here earlier today. So the plan today is 10 40s at 95% with about 3 or 4 minute recovery between. I'll do the first 3 or 4 without the blocks, and hopefully the last 6 I'll do with blocks. Weather's nice, it's nice and warm. So since I last spoke to you, which was briefly on Thursday, I did an easy run at work yesterday, Friday, just under 4 miles around Canary Wharf, and it wasn't too bad. Took it nice and easy recovery run. Legs are still feeling it. This intense work that I'm now doing 4 times a week certainly has a completely different feel on the legs than when I used to do endurance running, but so far so good. Right, all done. 9 times 40 in the end. No blocks. Thought I'd avoid them today. Probably should have done 8. I had a slight niggle in my left hamstring, which I could definitely feel on number 9, so I should have stopped probably 1 earlier, but on the whole went well. Averaged about 4 to 5 seconds per 40 metres, so pleased with that. But now home for some dinner. and get the Theragun out as well, because I'm going to need it. I think it's going to be a bit tight tomorrow. Ciao for now.